What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we got some monstrous trade news. It has finally happened. The Toronto Maple Leafs have shed some cap. They are moving Patrick Marleau to the Carolina Hurricanes for a 6th round pick. But in order for Carolina to eat this cap, they're also going to give up a 1st round draft pick and a 7th round draft pick. Now, the key to this is that 1st round somehow top 10 this year. It turns into a 1st round in 2021. Odds are the Leafs aren't expecting to be a top 10 pick this year. It'll probably be in the mid-20s as their expectations at the minimum, if I had to guess. So you look at this trade, and first and foremost, I have to say I have been like, man, nobody. I seen the first thing I thought when I seen this trade was like, oh, geez, here we go. Somebody just bailed the Toronto Maple Leafs out. Everybody in their right minds knows somebody on that team has to be dropped, or somebody's got to trade Marner, or one or the other, because they have to sign Marner. They didn't have the cap space. Now with trading Patrick Marleau, that's different. They have $6 million added in that cap. I think they have about $14 million projected space now. So plenty of cap space to sign Marner and whoever else they need to throw on there. At least we would assume, unless Marner's getting like $12 million a year, which, hey, you never know. Maybe. It is possible. But the first thing I was thinking is like, who would bail Toronto out on this? You got them by the balls, no pun. Okay, pun intended. But you look at it, and not really. Actually, there really is no pun about it. That was about as blatantly obvious as we could be about it. But Toronto, you know, they're a dominant team. You don't want to help out a team that you're going to have to probably face possibly in conference finals, possibly in a division series, almost a guarantee would think to make playoffs. And you don't want to help a team like that out, but then you've seen what they ended up giving up. A 1st round draft pick. I tell you what, 1 year of Patrick Marleau's contract, you're going to give me a 1st round draft. Consider me sold, right? I do it. What a move by Carolina's GM. Unbelievable. Unbelievable to say the least. But the Leafs, though, when you look at the Leafs side of this, you almost had to do it. Like I just said, everybody in their right minds knew why you was trying to move something or somewhere, and who wants to help that? Especially teams in your own division, your own conference, anywhere. Anybody's got to play. It's like, why would I want to take Marleau and help you out by letting you sign and extend a great player like Marner? Make this good enough for me. Make it worth it for us. And that's what they had to do. They give up 1st round draft pick. And from Toronto's standpoint, too, it's a 1st round draft pick, but I guess it's going to be a mid-20s 1st round draft pick. Those are very, very flip the coin if they're going to ever turn out. They could end up being a bottom 6 forward for their, entire career or whatever. But it looks good. Looks good on paper. 1st round draft pick you're getting, right? So, you look at it like that. But I think you also have to look at it from a Leaf standpoint. Like, are you willing, you want to give up that late 1st round draft pick? Or do you want to give away a guy like Zaitsev? Or, Marner probably wasn't ever seriously being dealt, let's be fair. Or Marner or Nylander, somebody else other than Marleau. Like, Marleau is the obvious, let's just get rid of him. He's 39 years old. We don't think we're going to get much production out of him. That's why Carolina's already talking about buying his contract out as soon as they get him. Or just, give us the 1st round draft pick. We're buying his contract out. We don't even want him on a team. Forget about it. We're not even going to put him on a 4th line. So you have to look at that as from a Toronto standpoint. Would you rather lose that 1st round draft pick next year, or would you rather lose a Zaitsev or a Nylander or, so on and so forth? I think that's the way they look here. And the thing is, with Marleau, you can make it kind of difficult with the trading. You've been like, I only want to go to, San Jose or something. You find a team. If you can find a team that'll trade me, or you'll trade for me and then it'll buy me out, that's fine. Go ahead and make the deal. Otherwise, I'm not going to accept this trade that you're going to, block with the no trade clause or whatever. And for that, I think some people might think the trade looks crazy, but I think it's pretty good on both sides. Carolina, they did a good job. Let's just be fair. That was an absolute work job by Carolina. Good for them. Toronto, you had to do what you had to do to, make cap space. That's what happens when you have the cap problems. That's what happens when you go out and you sign a big free agent like John Tavares. You can't say the rest of the league feels bad about it. It's not like you was forced to put $11 million on Tavares the year before. That's how it happens. But they did what they had to do. I honestly don't think the 1st round draft pick hurts Toronto. Helps Carolina. A good job on Carolina to build up that farm system. I would have loved to make that trade. Blue Jackets like to have a draft pick, but you know what? We're trying to save our draft pick because we got all of 1 this year. And we probably have like 3 next year, maybe 2. If Davidson comes back to be GM, he'll probably dump a few more draft picks and then leave us again so he can go and, help the division rival out some more. But besides that, let me know what you guys think about this Patrick Marleau trade. We'll go ahead and propose it. I have a feeling EA is going to happily accept this, baby. What? On behalf of Carolina, I'm going to have to decline this offer, but I have to give you credit for doing a good job on a proposal that would otherwise be considered fair value. Ultimately, though, considering the need this, offer would address, we don't think it makes sense to take on a salary of Patrick Marleau. Even for a first-round draft pick, we're giving him literally 10 times the trade value. EA says a big pass. We're not even going to take a 6th-round draft pick for Patrick Marleau. Not going to happen. Or a first-round draft pick for Marleau. We're hard passing on that one. And then our second big trade of the day, featuring PK Subban. I can't even believe that PK... What's going on? Where are the Blue Jackets at? I'm jealous. I'm jealous. That's all I have to say. PK Subban for Santini, 2 second-round draft picks, and a player that's so dang freaking good, he's not even on a roster in NHL 19. A 7th-round draft pick from the Devils in 2016. I'm sorry, Jeremy Davies, but when I Googled you on the internet, I got a profile for some guy that's a movie star, all right? That's all I gotta say. But Santini, 2 seconds. It's gonna be interesting to see what the second was. I'm sure we'll get more info on that later. But it might have been the second that New Jersey got from Nashville in the first place. One of those things reminding you of what? Was it Winnipeg? Winnipeg did the same thing with, I don't remember the team was, the Trouba trade. The Rangers or whatever. They sent their own draft pick back to Nashville. Might have been the same case here for the Devils. Broke even on the deal. You gotta like seeing something like that. But seeing PK go, I hear a lot of stuff about PK and, he's overrated and this and that. I don't even think it matters how overrated he is. You gave up 2 second-round draft picks for the guy, and he's under contract for, 3 more years? 4 more years? Steal of a deal. The New Jersey Devils, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, if Blackwood plays like he did last year, the New Jersey Devils may actually be a legitimate division-winning contender this year. You just picked up Subban. You just picked up Jack Hughes. If Taylor Hall wasn't convinced before, he's told the GM, he's like, buddy, I'll sign with you guys, maybe. I want to see what you're going to do first. Devils took care of it. They said, we got Jack Hughes. We got PK. We got a young goalie coming up. Played pretty well for us last year. Sign on the dang dotted line, Taylor. Look, what else do you want? Now, PK's got a lot to live up to, but he instantly slots in as that top pair defenseman for the Devils, and a much-needed defenseman. I don't care how bad Subban is. The Devils' defense struggled a lot late last year, and he's going to be an amazing upgrade for the team. 2 second-round picks. I don't think you can beat that. You consider that you, like I said, we had to give up first-round draft picks for Matt Duchene last year for a 2-month rental. And to be able to pick up a guy like PK Subban for 2 second rounds, I think part of the reason was too is Nashville is willing to retain salary. I don't understand why people don't like Subban so much. I don't get it. Montreal is so willing to. Nashville just hit the button. It's like, we don't want him. We're willing to give him away. We don't want him. I don't know. I don't know if there's locker room stuff. What it is. PK seems like a fantastic guy. I think he's hilarious. I've seen him on his social media before. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the defensive play they're not a big fan of. But, I mean, he's, 28 years old or something? 29 years old. I don't know what to say, but I think he still has quite a few good years left in him for 2 second-round draft picks that possibly will never see the NHL. And, again, for Santini, and a guy that, again, probably won't ever see the NHL, I think they did a pretty good job here. New Jersey went all over Nashville in this one. I would have given up more for PK. That's just me. We don't even need PK on Blue Columbus, but I would have been game for that. Go ahead and take it. They probably called up Columbus, though, and it was like, oh, you don't even have second-round draft picks. Oh, you're right. You're right. Good call. Otherwise, let's go ahead and see what EA thinks about this one. EA, what do you think? You want to make this trade? Oh, are you going to laugh at us? I question whether you even looked at our trade block. Oh, that was kind of nice of you to say. Nashville is totally unwilling to give up what you've asked for unless you really make it worthwhile. I don't think you have. You're probably right. Oh, well. That's what EA thinks of it. Like I think it's a great trade. We'll see how it turns out for Nashville. Nashville's always been a team with a lot of good defenders, and they've always not really been afraid to wheel and deal them either. I mean, they walked Weber out the door, PK, Seth Jones. Seth Jones has turned out to be pretty good, though, and they got Ryan Johansson back. I like Johansson. I never talk bad about Ryan Johansson, but we'll see how this turns out for the Predators, because I just don't get it. Maybe you guys, you Nashville fans, can explain this to me better. I don't really follow the Predators as deeply as you guys do. I don't really follow PK as much. Western Conference team, don't see him play that often. But I've always been under the assumption that PK is a solid player, and you traded him away for 2 second-round draft. Like, it looks like a trade that I just say no. They was willing to retain the salary. I can understand, say, we retain some salary if you give us something better in return. But I don't understand this. I don't get it. Like, somebody's got to explain to me what PK Subban, what his big problems are, his huge flaws, because those are huge flaws for 2 seconds. I guess you almost have to look at it and say he's not worth the contract, and we'll try to get something back in return. I guess that's about the best I can look at it. get something back in return because it's a bad contract. But other than that, I don't know. Because it ain't like there's some, huge rebuilding team. They're a great team every year. I don't see players that are desperately needing, at least unless I'm missing something here. I don't see guys that need, some big payday on Nashville or they need to move Subban. I guess, like I said, I'm missing something. Nashville fans will fill me in, I'm sure. So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on these two trades. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.